Hey Pippin, those sons of bitches did it. They finally put you in Pokemon. So today on the channel, we're going to do something a little different for me anyway, and review a Pokemon game. I haven't played Pokemon, a new Pokemon game at all. I played Red, Blue, and Yellow growing up. I played Fire Red, which is a remake of Red, Blue, and Yellow, but I only played the main story, so I actually never even played the extended part that had the new Pokemon and all that, and all the new mechanics. And I did play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which once again is just Pokemon Yellow all over again. So my views are going to be kind of different. It's going to be basically the difference between the original to now. So I don't have anything to compare it off of. I know right now there's a lot of controversy with animations and graphics and in the national decks and all that. So I'll touch a little bit about that while I'm talking about this game, but nothing too deep because to me, very casual Pokemon fan. I mean, I do like the concept of it. It's just something that I kept missing. To be honest, when the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games came out, which is like the next logical step for me, I got into Mega Man Battle Network as far as my mobile action RPG, and I love me some Mega Man Battle Network. All that aside, so I'm going to be comparing it to the only thing I know. And as far as graphically, the only thing I can really do is compare it to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or maybe some other first-party Nintendo games. So that being said, let's go ahead and open this guy up together and jump right into it. Alright guys, let's jump into opening this guy up. As per normal, safety first. Got our little blade here. Cut into the Pokemon. So I've actually noticed with all the stuff going on around this game, it seems to be a lot of review bombing, which is a shame because, like I said, this game, as of recording this, came out maybe 12 hours ago. And I know there's no way that people could have played it long enough to have constructive criticism to give it zeros. Well, so there's no book, but the inside actually has a really cool map of the region. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. It's kind of weird. It's linear. I remember, like I said, I haven't played any of the newer Pokemon games, but harkening back to Red, Blue, and Yellow, it was kind of a big circle, and then the Elite Four Victory Road thing was on the side, like over here. So this one looks like it's kind of, maybe you're working your way up to the top. We'll find out. Of course not in this video because I don't want to spoil anything. But other than that, it's about what I expected. No manual or anything. But that being said, let's jump into it. Just like in the original Red and Blue, the game starts out with a character explaining the whole world and what Pokemon are all about. In this case, though, instead of Professor Oak, they have this really suave guy with the cool haircut and the crazy mustache. I don't know, because obviously I'm not in the game yet, but something seems really kind of evil about this guy. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Just like in Red and Blue, though, you're a fatherless kid who lives in a small town with just your mom, and your neighbor happens to be your rival and has some kind of connection to the champion. The weird thing about this game, though, is check out this house. I mean, like, it's quite strange how it's all set up. Just a living room, next to a kitchen, next to your bedroom. I guess your mom doesn't sleep anywhere. But, I guess they never really thought about the moms much in this game. After meeting up with your best friend and rival, you go down to the train station to get with his brother, who happens to be the champion of the country. He is the coolest douche I think I've ever seen in a game. I mean, first off, look at him. He's ridiculous as hell. And then on top of all that, like, he's such a dick, but he's also super nice. I don't know, man. I like love-hate this guy for real. Like I kind of said earlier, I haven't really played Pokemon since Red and Blue and all that, so I don't know if this is a new feature or not, but a quality of life change for me personally that I am really liking is the fact that you can go back now and change your moves based on moves that you forgot in the past. I used to always kind of hate when I would forget a move with a character by accident, or maybe replace it with something that I didn't know what it did, and then all of a sudden I'm stuck with that move and have no way of reverting. I think that is a really awesome change in the Pokemon series, and like I said, it could be an old change, but for me it's new and I love it. Another thing that's new to me is the whole idea of a character creation. You know, I'm used to seeing just a little sprite on the screen of a little regular kid walking around with a backpack and a hat on, but now you can change how you look, your clothes, you can change your hairstyle, all sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool. I really like how stuff like this, little touches like this make the game feel more immersive to me. As a rule, there's one thing I never do in Pokemon, and that is change the name of a Pokemon. I usually always keep it the same, whatever the Pokemon's name is, Charmander, etc. But in this case, I'm definitely making an exception. Pippin is going to be my main for real. I also don't really like to look stuff up, but I did spoil two things for myself. I just had to know. One of them was, what does my new Pippin evolve into? And after seeing it, I decided to put an Everstone on him so he never evolves, because I am staying a Corgi, thank you very much. But then other than that, the one other thing, the bit of controversy that I kind of spoke about earlier, is the National Pokedex is not included in this game, so a lot of Pokemon got left out. And my personal favorite Pokemon is Dragonair, and I had to see, did he make the cut? And from what I have kind of looked up, it seems like I am disappointed, because there is no Dratini line, which for me means no Dragonair, which is kind of a shame. But I mean, what are you going to do? There's like 8 million Pokemon now. You can't expect them to bring everybody over. One of the new things they've included in this game are these free roaming areas where you actually have a free camera, which is new to the Pokemon series. But to anyone who's just played games recently, it just feels like a logical thing. It feels natural. It doesn't seem weird. But I do love how they did the system, kind of like Pokemon Let's Go, where you can see the Pokemon on the field. That being said, when you walk in the tall grass, you do have a chance of finding a random Pokemon too, which would just be an exclamation mark. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the random aspect of battles in some situations, but you can also see or avoid other Pokemon in other situations. Now, another thing that was brought up as far as a point of contention for people revolving around this game is the character models. And like I said earlier, I can really only compare this Pokemon game to other Switch games, because I mean, I haven't really played much Pokemon, and all the other ones were pretty much on handhelds, and the Switch seems much more powerful, of course. The problem for me is this game doesn't look bad by any stretch of the imagination, but when you compare it to like Astral Chain or Mario Odyssey or any of these other, first-party Nintendo games, you can definitely see a downgrade in the graphical fidelity. Besides that, though, these big open areas have the same kind of feature that the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had, where there are giant, super strong Pokemon that you can either hardly beat or not even have a chance just roaming the area, kind of making you want to avoid certain areas, but also making you kind of want to challenge those areas to see if you can get a ton of experience. And as far as something like that really messing up the game, as far as if you catch a level 40 Pokemon in the very beginning, they actually found a very interesting way to get around that. Before, they always tied the Pokemon listening to you based on how many gym badges you had, as in, in Pokemon Red and Blue, until you beat the first gym, Brock. I think Pokemon up to level 15 would listen to you, and after you beat him, up to level 20 would. Well, in this one, they also tied catching Pokemon to that. So, in the beginning, the Pokemon up to level 20 will listen to you until you beat the first gym, but you can also only catch Pokemon that go up to level 20. So when you go out there, if somehow you got lucky and could beat a level 40, who knows what, you wouldn't be able to catch it, so it wouldn't break the game. I think that was a really good idea on Game Freak's behalf. So this is strictly coming from someone who has not played Pokemon in a long time. Something is utterly terrifying about walking out in this open area and having this giant pink teddy bear basically beat my ass. Yeah, I think I really have a lot of catching up to do in the Pokemon National Dex department. If you set your mode to online while you're walking around, you can also get these stickers where it has people talking about trading, talking about doing the raid battles. And it's a really cool way to interact with the community and have fun playing with friends. I have not got to try it out with my friends yet, but it seems like you can sort by friend stickers, so it should be easy to find your friends. That being said, the raid battles are awesome. You basically fight a Pokemon that is in the Gigantamax mode, which is some huge form of the Pokemon that's specific to this game. Kind of like, I guess in the last games they had Mega Evolutions. Each game kind of had its own thing. But in this one you fight a giant version of the Pokemon, and it's 4v1. And on your side, you can use the Dynamax. On one of yours, on theirs, they're just in that form at all times. Basically, if as a team you can beat the giant Pokemon before 10 turns or all 4 of you get wiped out, you have a chance of catching it, which is a really cool way to get a strong Pokemon, and it's a really cool way to play with your friends. It's a very, very enjoyable experience. I guess it wouldn't be a Pokemon game without some kind of Team Rocket, and in this game, it's these punk rocker guys called Team Yell. They're like a cross between punk rockers and soccer hooligans. They're very interesting, but once again, in games like this, I tend to over-level, so I obliterated them easy, but still, I kind of like their design, and I think I'm interested to see how they play into the plot, for sure. One last thing I'm going to touch on that's new to this game that I think is very cool is the gyms aren't just going in, fighting a bunch of trainers, and then fighting a gym leader. Now they've actually added these challenges in the beginning. The very first gym actually has you herding sheep to kind of get through these mazes. It's really cool, really interesting way to break it up from the norm of all the other games. And of course, once you do the challenge, then as normal, you fight the gym leader. And in these gym battles, it also has the ability to do the Dynamax and the huge battles, big stadium, big crowds. It's really cool. It's a lot different than at least the game I've played, where it just seems more like a one-on-one private duel. This seems like a big fanfare with a crowd, and almost like it'd be on ESPN if it was real. I'm gonna be straight with you. I did not expect to have as much fun as I have had playing this game so far. In fact, I meant to edit this video quite a while ago, but I just kept playing it. I've already put like 6 hours in. I really was planning on just getting like an hour's worth of footage for just for the video. But man, I'm really having a good time playing it. I can't wait till some of my friends get it so we can kind of do the shared world together. And just in general, I think this is a really good game. If you haven't played Pokemon in a while like me, it's a great spot to jump back in. I think they really do a good job of explaining all the new features and all the new stuff, which you can actually turn off the explanations if you want, so that's nice. And, you know, maybe if you've never played a Pokemon game before, it's definitely an easy place to jump in. As far as if you're a big, you know, hardcore Pokemon fan, I really can't speak to that, and I'm sorry. It's just I haven't played any of the in-between games. I know a lot of people are disappointed with different things, and I do have to agree that there are games on the Switch graphically that are much, much better. So to me, with one of their major expensive franchises, it does feel like maybe they cheaped out. But in their defense, and I'm not saying this is a good defense, but just, you know, thinking the way they're thinking, you got Nintendo's coming out with they need a big game for the holidays, and, you know, for all I know, this could have been a deadline situation. I mean, last year was Smash Brothers, you know, this year had to be Pokemon. I'm not saying that's right, but, you know, that's basically, I think, what happened. Other than that, though, I mean, it doesn't look horrible. It just doesn't look like it's quite up to the quality that we're used to seeing on the Switch for first-party games. But hey, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Man, it's been fun reviewing this game. I'm actually gonna keep on it. I'm gonna run through this game and really have a good time playing it, I think. If you guys like the video, you know, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell. You know, do as you do, and as always, take it easy.